So top tips today is Germini or the Gerberas, but these are what we call the mini Gerberas, so they would be known within the flower trade as Germinis or mini Gerberas. So normally you're buying them in bunches of 20, so there's 20 Germinis here in this bunch. Just for some people purchasing them in a flower shop, it is possible to purchase them in cardboard. It's what we often refer to as the tennis racket. So it's a sheet of cardboard that's lined inside a cardboard box. There's 20 little holes in it, and each flower is individually inserted into each hole, and it just kind of supports the flowers. But if you're buying them in bulk, they might come in a bucket as ours did, and then they were just wrapped in 20s. So the best thing to do with the Germinis is to remove the plastic, because they like the plastic to be removed, is use your scissors and just cut the plastic away. The stems on them can be quite fragile and quite soft, especially when you've just got them delivered from Holland, like our flower delivery came in here this evening. So to give them a little bit of support, I like to wrap them. Now you can buy what's known as a Gerber tablet in your flower wholesalers, and it's a bit like a flower food, but it's a flower food specifically for Gerbers. And if you place that in the water, Gerbers love it, and it is inclined to keep the stem straight. What I like to do is maybe get about 5 or 6 heads. So I have 4 or 5 heads here, right? So it's completely up to yourself. 5 or 6 heads together, and you can see the way my hand is up around the heads of the flowers. And then using a sheet of paper, I'm just going to cut this sheet of paper in half. So using a little bit of brown paper, typing paper, flower wrapping paper, any type of paper will do, is if you wrap it around the bunch. So you can see now the way I'm just like wrapping it around. Now every flower shop is different, and every flower shop has their own way of treating them. This is what I like to do. And then I just bring the brown paper up around the head, so you can see the way it really supports the heads, and that will straighten the flower and keep the flower straight while they have their first string. I'm now going to secure that with a little bit of sellotape. So then what I'll do is I'll cut the ends of the flowers, make sure all the stems are going to be the same length. Sometimes with the Germini, you have a short flower in among the longer ones. So just make sure when you're cutting them that you have cut them all. Cut them on a slant, so that way, again, you're going to open a bigger hole than if you cut straight across. And if you have some quick dip, as it's known, there's one by the company called Oasis, and there's one by the company called Kreisel. So it's a quick dip, and what it does, it hydrates the inside of the flower. Normally you put about 3 centimeters into the end of a small container. You submerge or insert the ends of the stems down into the quick dip for 1 second, so 1 centimeter of the stem for 1 second, and basically the quick dip bursts into the bottom of the stem. It opens up the cells of the capillaries, and it hydrates the inside of the stem. And if there's any airlocks in the stem, it gets rid of it, and it makes the water get up the stem faster. Now what I like with the brown paper, the reason I use it, is that it keeps the stem straight while it's having the first string. So within an hour to 4 hours, you can remove that paper and it's absolutely fine. For some people in a flower shop that's maybe storing some of their Germinis, maybe in their back store, they're putting half of the bunches on display and maybe keeping some of the stock stored out in your back store, I would recommend leaving the brown paper on them until you're ready to actually put them on display. If you have Germinis or Gerberas where they've started to kind of tilt over the top of the vase, the best thing to do is whip them out, wrap them in the brown paper nice and tight, recut the ends of them and place them in the water. When placing Germinis in floral foam, I recommend to cut straight across rather than going on a slant. Because they're a hollow and a soft stem, when you cut on a slant, which is great while they're having their first string, but when you go to insert it into floral foam, if you can imagine it being like on its ballerina toes, so when you cut on a slant, you have that kind of like sharp dagger effect, and the stem is too soft and it's hard to get it into the floral foam, and it is inclined to break. The other thing is when you're inserting the flowers into the floral foam, watch for your right side and your wrong side, or I often call it our sunny side up and our sad face going down. Again, if you have any questions, email me here at the school. I hope you enjoyed that tip.